Welcome back to the Quaker Update playing field. My name is David Loudon.
And I'm Brady Wachtel. We hope you had a great winter break. This week's update brings you the Golden Globes, a dive into the Royal Rumble, and even an origami tutorial.
But first, we take you to our reporter Nolan Wasmer for our first story of the day, featuring one of Plainfield's own alumni who is now an Olympian.
Darren Wright, a proud Plainfield alumna, once walked the halls of Plainfield High School as a student, but she didn't know in 2 short years she'd return as an Olympic diver. She always believed she was a rising star, but never expected to land so high.
I always had a natural talent for it. I started competing internationally when I was 11, but I never really thought I could be good until I was probably 16 or 17.
Wright's diving journey began on land on rubber ground as a gymnast. Both inspiration from her sister and mother, she flipped from land to water, which transformed her life into something new. With medals came an additional family.
Diving has affected my life in so many ways. Just the amount of people that I have met through the sport has been incredible, and they truly shaped who I am as a person.
Most recent summer, Wright competed in the June 27th Olympic trials at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. She placed second in the 10-meter platform, earning her a spot on Team USA for the Paris Olympics.
My experience was just fun. I had no expectations from it at all. I was just excited I was there. So I just went out and dove and had fun the whole time.
Through a fantastic career, Wright has learned to keep her composure in the most key situations, controlling every movement and moment, regardless if she's diving for her university at Purdue or for her country. Keeping this mindset, her 5 dives would be performed on a bigger stage as she placed 19th on the 10-meter platform, performing on an Olympic level for the first time.
For me, the mindset was it's the same 5 dives I've been doing since I was 16. So it really wasn't a different meet in my mind. It just had a lot of cool stickers on the wall and the title of the Olympics. But in reality, I've competed against those people many, many times. And so I just had to do the same 5 dives.
It seems this competitive nature came naturally to the Olympic diver, but it wasn't always that way. Wright once struggled with her love for the sport during the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020.
Probably going into COVID / coming out of COVID, I didn't love diving. So I didn't want to go to practice, I didn't want to do the work, I didn't want any part of it. And I still showed up to practice and I still did things, but my heart just wasn't in it. And then COVID happened and we finally got the long break and I was able to reflect and just kind of see if this is really what I wanted to be doing.
The Plainfield community that raised her continues to support her in her diving career. Wright reflects on her roots in the Quaker community.
Plainfield has shaped my life in thousands of ways. The community here is unlike no other. I still receive support from teachers that I had 8 years ago from elementary school that'll reach out to me and stuff.
Wright's talents didn't orbit solely around diving. She also continuously made good grades and maintained punctuality. Current Plainfield teachers still talk about her dedication. After graduation, she chose to compete with Purdue, who sports 5 fellow Olympic teammates. In February, the Plainfield Legacy Foundation will honor her influence on the community.
So amazing. That's just crazy because I feel I'm just a random kid. I don't feel I am an Olympian, but I still feel like me. So to be receiving it is just such an honor because I'm just a small town kid from Plainfield.
Even after meeting celebrities, becoming one, and traveling across the world, at heart, Darren Wright still holds her humble attitude and love for the community.
What an incredible journey. Let's offer another quick thank you to Darren for accepting our interview and head over to David with the Royal Rumble.
This year, the WWE is hosting their annual PLE, the Royal Rumble. For the first time in history, the Rumble is headed to Indianapolis at Lucas Oil Stadium on Saturday, February 1st. Make sure you tune in to see all the superstars compete for the one goal of going to WrestleMania.
The WWE Royal Rumble is coming to Indianapolis on February 1st at Lucas Oil Stadium. The premium live event is one of the most anticipated attractions in sports entertainment. The Rumble was nearly sold out with some of the cheapest tickets going for $500. However, you can experience the thrill of the Royal Rumble at home on Peacock.
I'm really excited. I feel like there hasn't been a big WWE event in Indianapolis for a while. I am excited for it. I wish I could go, but I'm just going to be at home watching.
The Rumble is an event wrestling fans don't want to miss. The winner of the match has a clear path on the road to WrestleMania. The stakes that show has for the future of the superstars makes it exhilarating and special to watch.
I wouldn't say it's just as special. I'd say it's more special than most of them. When you think about the three big events, you think of WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and the Royal Rumble.
One of the most popular opinions about the Rumble is that the superstar returns make or break the show. You never know who is going to enter the match and surprise the crowd and viewers at home.
That's a tough one. There's been some big ones. I could always say a John Cena from 2008, but I wasn't really old enough to see that.
The returns are a great moment for the fans, but the winners of the event are immortalized in the company's history and in wrestling fans' memories forever.
So it's also a big one. So I'm going to go back to John Cena. I always loved watching John Cena growing up. And I'd say back in, I think it was 2013, when he won it, and if he faced The Rock back at WrestleMania, I say when he won it, I think it was an awesome moment.
The Royal Rumble is one of the steps Indianapolis is making to continue to highlight the city. A great performance on the 1st of February could help the city continue on the path to a bigger market feel.
Well, it means the city's just going to keep growing, you know. We're already bringing in more stuff. We got the All-Star game from NBA last year. Eventually, I think we're going to have a Super Bowl in the next 5 years. It's just making Indy like a big town market.
It's truly amazing the great state of Indiana finally gets the chance to watch the Rumble live in person. The entire WWE universe is beyond excited to see who will win and who will get the chance to have their WrestleMania moment. The Golden Globes surprised many in the industry and the public this year. The hit musical Wicked, adapted to film, only won 1 Globe for cinematic and box office achievement. A quietly released musical, Emilia Perez, managed 4.
This has sent not just longtime fans of the Wizard of Oz prequel, but also new and even non-fans of the musical origin story into a frenzy. However, it's reported many feel that some of the other winners were not necessarily adequate for this category, causing moviegoers of all kinds to say Golden Globes are bought, but Oscar won.
The Globes judges have yet to respond to the backlash from fans and Hollywood.
We'll be right back after these messages.
TikTok is a widely beloved and used app by millions of Americans, 165 million to be exact. Now it is under scrutiny and threatened to get banned by the U.S. government because of security risk. How do your fellow Quakers feel about the TikTok ban?
I feel like it's violating the freedom of speech. They just shouldn't be able to do that.
I think it's honestly a good thing because I feel like a lot of kids are into their phone already, you know, like being on games and all that. So I feel like an added social media like TikTok makes people a lot more addicted to their phones. They're always going to be on it now.
I feel like the TikTok ban will be helpful because nowadays all kids want to do is go home, watch TikTok till midnight, and then wake up tired, got to go to school, fall asleep in class. But I feel like once they ban it, everything's gonna go back to normal, like back in old days, to where kids are gonna go outside, actually play outside, play at the playground, play with their friends, you know.
I guess my number one thing is this: if the powers that be here in our country feel like that it's genuinely a threat, then I'd like to see that information provided to me, see what kind of threat it actually is. And then if it needs to be banned, then ban it. But I feel like we as a people, as a group of citizens, need to at least be provided with that information so we can understand, rather than just have someone say it's a threat. I'd like to see that information.
Love it or hate it, TikTok undeniably started a culture that millions of Americans share, a community unlike no other. So, do the risk outweigh the benefits? That's up to you.
Now we head to Red Pride Zone coverage to talk about the AFC and NFC championships. Both games are on Sunday, January 26th.
You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Oh, don't forget your coffee mug.
Hello, what's your question for today?
Hey, who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl?
All right, thank you. All right, thank you to that caller. All right, Brady, who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl this year? Me, personally, I have the Bills.
I have the Eagles.
All right, let's talk about it.
dive
Why do you
into
think
it.
the Eagles are going to win?
So let's take a look at their offense to start. We have Jalen Hurts, who threw for 2,903 regular season passing yards. His top receiver was A.J. Brown with 1,079. But I think you know the name Saquon Barkley.
I think I've heard of it.
I think that's really all you need to listen to, especially with the offensive line they've been having. They've been moving bodies. It doesn't matter. Their offensive line is getting the job done for Saquon to be able to attack and to receive 2,005 regular season rushing yards.
I mean, yeah, they are. The Eagles are a very good team, and they definitely have that potential. But let's switch over to the Bills' offense. And now, you say, have you heard the name Saquon Barkley? Have you heard the name Josh Allen?
I have heard of the name Josh Allen.
Top in MVP votes, beat Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, the team that was thought to win the Super Bowl. And plus, they have a whole bunch of underrated talent that isn't talked about in the media enough.
So I mentioned 3 names in their offense, and you've only named one, Josh Allen. I believe that's their whole offense. I believe they have some other players. I believe that there's no one else other than Josh Allen. Josh Allen gets hurt or anything happens, there's not much more to the team.
And yeah, that's definitely that's a hot take, but at the same time, it's honestly kind of valid. But also, you have to remember, a team has 2 parts. You have to remember the defensive side. Matt Milano, DeMar Hamlin for the Bills have been really stepping it up this season. One of their top 2 tacklers. I think that they'll be able to bring Saquon Barkley down.
Saquon Barkley, yeah, and then I wanted to just focus on Josh Allen. If we're going to talk that route, I like to talk about the defensive line. They lost Brandon Graham to a torn pec, unfortunately. However, they have Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, who have a total of 69 total tackles together in the regular season. Those 2 are absolute machines, as well as they have 5.5 sacks between the 2. And they're in the interior, D-line. I mean, they're taking the big blocks up front. How do you stop them? As well, let's take a look at Reed Blankenship, 52 total tackles in the regular season.
Reed Blankenship is a dog.
He's been having himself a season, and I think everyone knows that. And his name's going to, be someone in the face of the NFL someday. And Isaiah Rodgers, who just came off an amazing game.
And another thing you have to remember for going to the Super Bowl is the road to the Super Bowl in the playoffs. The Bills have a huge head of steam with them. They have a whole bunch of momentum going their way after beating the Broncos and the Ravens.
They got to beat the Chiefs, though.
That is true.
In Kansas City, the Eagles have to play the Commanders in Philly. I think the Eagles will get it done. I think Jaden Daniels is also too young of a quarterback to compete at that high of a level.
All right. Plainfield varsity boys and girls basketball are having a winning season thus far. One player from each team is the standout star. Reporter Nick Green is on the story.
The Plainfield High School boys and girls basketball team is already in mid-season. One star from each team has stood out the most as leading scorers. Guards Harper Baker-Lands and Hannah Mincer both have their own idea of how to make their teams more elite for the remainder of the season.
I think just working on everything, trying to do other things besides just score, maybe rebound more, get more assists, defend better.
Just not looking at the score and just thinking like we've prepared for all the things we have in front of us and just being prepared and everything.
The boys team lost 3 seniors to graduation last season, meaning this year's major theme has been trying to fill those roles.
Well, we lost a couple big scoring pieces and a couple big rebounding pieces, and so just trying to do those things and try to fill in for what left last year has been a big difference.
As for Mincer, she's the daughter of Plainfield Assistant Athletic Director Michael Mincer, who is a former basketball star at Batesville and ISU. Her dad's precise shooting has transferred to her, and she wouldn't be playing without him.
My dad's taught me everything. Like, he taught me how to shoot and all this, so obviously, like, I wouldn't know how to do anything really without him.
Baker-Lands' father, Chewy, a former coach at Louisville, has, of course, had an influence on his son's game. Baker-Lands has been in tough and stressful situations this season in tight games, but has learned from the best on how to get himself calmed down.
I think just trusting in how hard I've worked and trusting in myself and believing in myself and knowing that everyone else around me believes in me to do what I need to do.
Mincer has also had her fair share of struggles, but has her own advice for others trying to be a student athlete.
I think just keeping track of everything helps a lot, like keeping track of all your schoolwork and not procrastinating and just doing it when you have time. And it's definitely gotten harder throughout like the years because our classes have gotten harder, but you just got to work through it and stuff.
The boys team has 9 games left, including a big matchup with number 2 in the state, Lawrence North, while the Plainfield girls team only have 4 games left, 3 of which are home. Support these stars as they finish out this season's campaigns.
Make sure to come out and support both these teams for the last few games of the season. There will be a doubleheader on Friday night homecoming. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to the Quaker Update. A recent tragedy in the French Quarter of New Orleans has worried many about the level of violent media being consumed on social media outlets.
Shamsuddin Jabbar from Houston, Texas recently found himself inspired by ISIS according to videos posted on his social media accounts, later used as evidence against him.
Jabbar drove a rented pickup truck onto Bourbon Street, where he then attempted to go around the block, hitting as many bystanders as possible.
This ended in 12 injured and 15 deaths, including the attacker. Authorities are trying their best to quickly perform autopsies and notify next of kin. On a lighter note, if you are looking for something fun to do or a brain break, check out this tutorial about making hexaflexagons by our very own Sophia Harris.
First, cut out a long strip of paper. Take this first edge and bend it over so it makes a bisected triangle. Crease and cut. Fold this edge so it lines up here, making another nice angle. This is our first triangle. Keep matching up these two lines and folding back and forth until you have 10 triangles. The more uniform your triangles are, the better your hexaflexagon will turn out. Count 3 triangles and fold down. Count another 3 and fold again. Make sure you tuck this flap under and glue these two faces together.
Once you've done that, pick any 2 colors for your front side and your back side. I went with red and orange. Now to reveal your third side, pinch these 3 lines down and it will open a flap so you can see your third face.
Pick another color and there you have it. A 2D shape with 3 faces, the hexaflexagon. Now when I open it, I can cycle through my 3 sides.
I suggest experimenting with some of your own designs. You can create some pretty outrageous patterns.
For your next project, I suggest exploring the mysterious hexaflexagon, an even more impressive mathematical wonder.
That's all from us today.
Thank you for watching this week's Quaker Update. I'm Brady Wachtel.
And I'm David Loudon. We'll see you next week. Quaker Update, signing out.